Did you know that certain nurses who want to work in the United States may qualify for the H1B visa? If you want to know how, watch this video and I'll break it down for you. Commonly known, H1B visa is reserved for technology workers, lawyers, architect, people that are known to work in a specialty occupation, which means that it's a position that normally requires a degree from similar employers and also recognized by the U.S. Department of Labor to require a degree. Nurses, registered nurses, typically are not required to hold a bachelor degree. And so it's been very difficult to get H1B visas for nurses. However, there are certain nurses that may still qualify for the H1B visa. And typically those nurses are in management positions, nurse practitioners, certain ICU high-level nurses, and some nurses in research may still qualify for the H1B. What do you really need for that? First of all, the nurse must have a bachelor degree, either in nursing, healthcare, or something related to that space, in that area, like research. So a bachelor degree is the #1 requirement. The second of all is, in addition to bachelor degree, if the nurse has a master's degree, that's even better, or at least a bachelor degree plus 5 years experience. We can actually show that this is a highly qualified nurse and that nurse may qualify for an H1B visa. But the other requirement is, in addition to the nurse's background and qualifications, is the actual position. So commonly people think that just because the person is qualified doesn't mean that they may get the H1B visa, because if the position is not meeting the requirements, then that person is not going to be able to get an H1B visa. So if the position is just a regular registered nurse, the Labor Department does not recognize that position to be H1B specialty occupation quality or level. And therefore, it is really important, in addition to the nurse's background and qualifications, also for the position to be one that needs a degree. So, like again, a manager position, a nurse manager, research, nurse practitioner, some nurses that work in ICU. So the position itself, very limited nurse positions can qualify for that. But those nurse positions, once they meet that requirement, they can proceed and apply for the H1B visa. What is required? So now that we identify that the nurse has the education, the bachelor degree at the minimum, the experience, and the position itself will require a degree, like a nurse practitioner, like a manager position. The next step would be to understand that H1B visas are subject to a numerical cap. There's only 65,000 of them. And you can only file those visas in April 1st of the numerical year. This year, a new requirement for the H1B will be some online registration, that employers will have to go through an online registration to register the positions before they file. This is something that's going to happen in April of 2019. So once we understand that you can only file for the position in April, the nurse can only work in October of the fiscal year. So if you filed in April 1st, the nurse can start working on October 1st of that fiscal year. In addition to that, there's also a prevailing wage requirement. So the employer will have to file for a prevailing wage to determine what is going to be the wage that they have to pay that nurse in that particular state. If they're not able to pay that wage, the petition is not going to be approved. So we have the education requirement, the position requirement, the wage requirement, and finally, the employer will have to attest that they're actually going to be providing the wage to that particular employee, and also that the employee is going to work in that particular location. So if a hospital has multiple locations and they filed the H1B petition for that one particular location, that nurse will have to work only in that location. Now, the H1B visa is good for 3 years, and you can renew it for another 3 years, so for a total of 6 years. And the employer can also file for a green card for that nurse following during those 6 years. Again, we did a separate video about green card petition for nurses, and again, the beautiful thing is that employers can file for nurses for the green card without going through a labor certification process, which will make that process much quicker. So again, to summarize this, there are ways to get H1B visas for nurses. They're quite limited. They have to have specific positions like nurse practitioners and management positions. But if they do qualify, then those nurses can file on April 1st of the year, and they can start working on October 1st. In summary, the H1B visa is a really good visa for nurses that qualify, that meet the education requirements and the position requirements. And as long as they understand that the visa is subject to a numerical quota, and the employers, and both the employers and the nurse must understand that it's never guaranteed and they cannot rely on this visa. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. Let me know what other videos you would like to watch. And I want to thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we have videos for you every week.